Orange from Death by Legend. Today I'm going to be reviewing The Last Story. The Last Story is a dare say better than Xenoblade Chronicles, which I said only a few weeks ago might be my favourite JRPG of all time. You play as Zane, a member of a band of mercenaries who dreams of becoming a knight. You receive the power of gathering from a mystical being, which gives you the ability to give new life to those that die around you, at the cost of drawing all enemy focus to yourself. Whilst the story is typical for a JRPG, it's interesting to note that the story revolves more around each of the characters' backgrounds and ongoing relationship than about the power. For the next 6 to 10 hours of gameplay, you don't even hear another mention of it. Everything is split into chapters, which adds a sense of progress to the gameplay. As expected from the head of Mistwalker Studios, everything in the game looks outstanding, among the best you'll see on the Wii. If you don't know already, the man behind the studio is Hironobu Sakaguchi, the man responsible for every game that steals your life from that side of the world. That goes from Final Fantasy 1 to 10, to Blue Dragon, to Chrono Trigger, to Chrono Cross, to Legend of Mana, Kingdom Hearts. The list goes on. The story is told in one of 3 ways. The first is cutscenes. These are cutscenes you'll actually want to watch as they build the story, as well as character relationships. I love the fast forward feature. Too often are we forced to either sit through a cutscene or skip it. The second is through 2 characters' avatars talking. This is hardly used, but it's a lot like in the Tales series. The third is the narration from an unknown observer, used to fast forward time periods between the events you play through, stopping the game feeling disjointed and making sure everything you do is relevant to the story rather than just pointless walking. The characters in The Last Story have a cinematic feel to them. There may only be one city in The Last Story, but it's big enough to be all you need for the 20-hour story. The combat is fast and gives you multiple options for completing your assault. You can stop time and order your team in a typical JRPG style, or you can go with the hack and slash method as you let your team handle themselves. Everyone has 5 lives per fight, which makes the first third of the game reasonably easy since you almost never get game over, but it's welcomed all the same later on in the game. There are a large amount of checkpoints, so it doesn't matter if you don't see a save point for an hour or so. With cleverly placed tutorials that you can check from the menus at any time, you don't have to worry about forgetting how to do certain techniques. There's a point in the game where this is incredibly vital, as you won't be able to actually beat the bosses without them. The music is also spectacular, as you'd come to expect from a Sakaguchi game, and if I recall correctly, the UK limited edition comes with the soundtrack, so it might be worth the investment. All the usual typical customer characterization is still here as well, ranging from clothes designs to changing the colour of your outfit. You also have the option to make your character go stark naked if you really want it. This game is pure fun, the most fun of an RPG I've had in a very long time. Despite this, there are some groundbreaking issues. The Last Story suffers from terrible framerate issues. Whether it's due to the Wii being pressed or poor configuration, I'm not sure, but there is a stupid amount of lag, and it can completely ruin the pace of battles when there's more than 4 or 5 enemies on the screen. It gets 10 times worse within the later chapters of the games, with things almost going into a standstill. I wouldn't be surprised if this stops people playing the game altogether. Another issue is that it's really easy to miss side quests if you're playing through the game without a guide. I managed to accidentally skip chapters 22 to 25 without any knowledge I was doing it. This of course made the game shorter and made me feel like I was being cheated out some of my gameplay. There are also moments in The Last Story where you lose sight of what to do. You really notice it in this usually fast-paced game. Overall, if you're looking for a fun, fresh Japanese RPG with a brilliant 20 to 30 hour long storyline and amazing cinematics, then The Last Story is for you. If Japanese RPGs and laggy frame rates put you off, then I suggest you stay away from The Last Story.